Very good.
I'm Annika Lina from Disruptive Media here at LeWeb in Paris with Chris Heuer.
Yes.
My good friend. And we're going to talk about what's happening right now.
Yes.
What's happening in the social world.
In real time?
Yeah.
In real time now. But delayed time for them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what's the biggest issues as you see?
I have a real problem with all this emphasis on the real time. Right now, the real time in an open system means that it's open to bad actors, which means that we have people spamming the hell out of the top 10 in Twitter trends. It means that our systems are less secure. More importantly, it's changing the behavior of individuals as a result of an increasing reliance on, I don't need to go to Google and research and read and get a broader context for a situation. I can just tweet to my friends, I'm guilty of this, and get an answer. So therefore, I don't need to really learn. If all of the information I need can be had just at my fingertips by sending a tweet, by living in this real-time stream. So this is two of the major concerns, and I have one more concern, which is really that we're creating our society's next generational MTV moment. When MTV came around, the fast-cut videos really remapped our brains to the high-energy, fast-cut, short attention span stuff. We know it. It's physiologically been reported. Journals of medicine have covered this. This real time, trying to pay attention to everything going on, especially with so much investment of the ego, the self, and the personal story, that there's a higher emotional price to this real time than was in the MTV generation of the lean back couch experience. When you lean forward, you're putting your heart forward, you're putting your mind forward, you're putting your ego forward.
So more influence of the mind, really, what you're saying.
Well, I don't. We'll find out what's going to happen to us and what is happening to us. I mean, we're already looked at, as you know, those of us who are connected and have to check in on Foursquare and tweet and do these other things so often as outliers by mainstream society who don't understand what we have to say or why we're recording it or what the significance is. So we already look a little funny. We watched the geeks before us who couldn't communicate using language that we understood in a very similar manner. Now we're creating another version of this as well. It's not necessarily all bad.
But on the other hand,
it's to be concerned.
On the other hand, the kids aren't really in the real time apart from Facebook and MySpace announced yesterday a new development API, so the developer can work against the MySpace content. But I mean, the kids aren't on Twitter or
no, but they're in their own real time. They have walls, they have group SMS text chats, and they have their own spaces where they're doing it. And we don't see it. But what's important there is that their cost of participation is nil. And our cost of participation is against our ability to make income. So the kids actually have a totally different experience at this thing, and they don't need to monetize it. They don't need to do anything with it. They just need to be and explore with it. In many ways, they're the artists of this generation, and if they are given enough encouragement and support, as I know you do with your students, then there's a possibility for them to create great things.
Do you think we're going to see very different things from what we have seen previously, because we have real time, we have touch technology, we have a whole new toolbox of stuff?
When everything in the world around us changes, the way we use them and the way we interact with the world changes. This camera has changed the way we interact with the world. And so certainly it's changing us. Again, that change is neither positive nor negative in and of itself. But in looking at it in the broader context of the social consequences, we will determine this. What I've been saying for the last several years is that we must pause to consider this. We shouldn't jump blindly because there's a big movement to real time or whatever and think that that is the only thing. I'm not here proposing to be a Luddite either. What I'm saying is that breathe and ask the question, and let's talk about this and make sure this is what we really want, because there are unintended consequences to designs that impact everyday people. There are unintended consequences in Twitter by focusing on the following and follower numbers. I mean,
instead of the content.
What if they focus on the quality of posts, the number of links shared, the behavior that resulted would have been completely different. So now that it was most likely, and I haven't asked them, it was most likely an intended consequence because it created the viral loop, because it made people follow others and seek followers, and that metric, that scoreboard up there, showed which hockey team was winning.
Exactly. So 2010 is coming up really soon. What do you see the major things
Well, you know, in 2008, things were starting to take off, and change was really starting to happen. We were seeing a lot of development. Obviously, 2009, we saw a very drastic slowdown and, in some cases, shutdown of the economy. So what I've found over the last few months is that people realizing the apocalypse didn't happen. Say what you will about the bailout and getting us in longer-term debt. You know, in my mind, it's all in the ether anyway, It is what it is. But the reality is it prevented a drastic financial disaster so far. There may need to be more in order to prevent this. But what I feel now from the people in big corporations, who I always use as a barometer, if they're willing to engage in new projects or talk about them, things are good. And they are, and they're talking about those. And 2010 looks to be not only going to be able to get back to where we were heading before all this happened, but taking it to another level. I really feel this.
So you see
so much activity.
Basically saying that the web development and the social media activities is going to explode in the corporate side?
Well, think about it. So the managers who have reluctance or fear of engaging in social tools for exposing the truth, in some cases they've seen greater and much more damaging truth exposed through their competitors and through their own internal systems. And, you know, when we look at, you know, all these CEOs and what's happening on Wall Street and this other stuff, you know, okay, the world's transparent. We see everything now. Okay, we've got to change and we have to deal with this. So I see a much greater acceptance of that and moving forward, and that will advance our own progress and create more interest in doing these interactive projects. So in many ways, the economy problems became our breath, and it was forced for us. So.
That was great. Thank you, Chris. And we'll see you in March, 25th March.
I'm so looking forward to coming out again.
Yeah.
Except I'm not so sure. How many hours a day later are we going to get to?
No, I think we're up to 6 or 7.
Okay, good.
Perhaps.
Good. So we're going to take a break in the middle of the conference and be out in the sun?
Yeah.
Maybe have some beach chairs, a little suntan oil?
Absolutely.
Okay, good. Very good.
So, Annika signing off from LeWeb.
Bonjour. Oh no, au revoir.